Okay, so we're back with part 4 of this Dark Souls walkthrough. And what we just did was we bought a bow and an arrow, a lot of arrows from the merchant. And we're going to try to get the Drake Sword. Now I'm just going to explore this area a little bit because I don't think we'll get back to this area in the future. So let's just do it right now. I want to get it over with. Exploring. You do really need a lot of patience in this game. If you're not patient, you will quickly lose interest in this game, because it is a lot about upgrading yourself, getting better. Okay, so we got the arrows, we got the bow, and after we take this one, we're gonna head back to the dragon. And we opened up a shortcut in last video, so we're just gonna walk right back up with that shortcut. Now, before we walk all the way up to the dragon, we're actually gonna make a little left turn and go under the bridge instead of on top of the bridge. Make sure you have the bow and arrow equipped. There we go. And there's going to be two enemies under this bridge. And as you can see, the tail is up there. And that's what we're going to be shooting at. So we're going to take out this guy and the last guy standing out here on the edge. Be careful not to fall down. You do want to just kind of lure him out, unless he turns back around. He sometimes do that. Yep, he turns around. Let's take this guy out. Okay, so get your bow and arrows out and get in position. Now, this is going to take quite a bit to do, so I'm just going to fast forward some of it. But you want to aim, and for some reason the arrows are stuck in the air. Okay, so as I said, I will fast forward. Now, this is going to take a lot of arrows. I started with 181, and I have no idea how many it's going to take, but I know it's going to take at least half my arrows to get that tail off. So we're just going to keep going at him, I guess. Now the Drake Sword is actually, when you start out pretty early in the game, you want to go for the Drake Sword because it has 200 in damage. And since our weapons, our strongest weapon right now only has, I believe it's 85 or 95, 200 is actually a lot. So you get pretty far in the game before you have any weapon stronger than it. Now, I do believe I was shooting at this tail for 20 minutes without anything happening, and I was actually at some point I was worried about that I wasn't doing it right. I didn't know if I had to shoot it at a certain spot on the tail, but I just kind of hit it right on the tip. As you see, the tail is kind of a bone sticking out in the end. I hit right on top of the bone. But we did have the cheapest arrows and the cheapest bow in the game. And when we equipped it, it did say that we didn't have the abilities to use it just right yet. So that means that some of the damage that I'm gonna be dropping on that dragon is actually gonna be lower than what it says when we look at the damage of the bow. Now, when you get this sword, you can upgrade it later on in the game. You can get dragon scales by killing hydras, by killing dragons. There's a certain area, I forgot what it's called, Undead Hollow or something like that, where you can you can pick up dragon scales if you can find them. There's actually quite a few. I believe there's like 5 laying around, and they're really rare to get. And we're still going at it. Now this part of the game is actually getting to this dragon took me a long time to do when I just started out. I do have another tutorial on how to just get to him in the beginning of the game as quick as possible to get that Drake sword. I spent so much time looking up a guide on how to actually get to him because I heard so much about this sword that I wanted to find him, but I couldn't find any tutorials on how to get from the first bonfire and up to the dragon. Now as you see, I just switched position just because if you're standing too far away from an enemy, he's also going to take less damage, so I tried to move a little bit closer to see if that would help. Now this dragon is actually not that tough when you do go out to fight him. To me, he looked really tough, and the first time I played through this game, I did not even try to fight him before I almost finished the game. And when I got to him, I killed him right away. So he's not really that strong, he just looks tough. I've seen people actually just walk up in the bridge, run behind him, and just chop off the tail in 30 seconds. But we're doing it the safe way. Some people might not be as happy about just charging at the dragons in the beginning of the game, so a guide like this is really good. And I'm actually fast forwarding with 300 times. So you can see this is actually taking a very long time. As I said, this is a game that if you don't have the patience, you are definitely not gonna be getting further ahead in the game that quickly. Even though you think it takes a long time to get the game finished, it takes even longer if you don't get all the boring stuff done. And we're still going at it. I believe we're almost done. I'm gonna stop fast forwarding because I want to show you how it looks like when you actually hit it and chop off the tail. There we go. Next time I believe we will get it off. Now folks, this is not live commentary. I'm actually recording it and then commenting afterwards. There we go. Got the sword. I'm going to show you really quick how it looks like. Now as I said, this is not live commentary because I do not have a video camera with the proper quality to have good sound if I talk into it while I'm playing. So I'm going to do this afterwards. Now as you can see, when I'm using the sword, I can't really swing it that well. It's really heavy in one hand. I need to hold it in 2 hands to use it properly. So we're gonna have to upgrade our strength, level up a little bit before we can use this sword with 1 hand. So what I did was I just jumped up here, had the dragon kill those guys, and now we're gonna go down and level up. So see you next walkthrough. I'm gonna end it right here.